Well, it's looking like
So,
a hereditary monarchy now, which is what the original Ayatollah was campaigning against.
right.
What's the relationship between the people and the IRGC now? Obviously, you've got a Shia population, which is like 24%. Is the IRGC viewed as legitimate by a significant portion of the population, or is it viewed as like an oppressor? What's actually the view on the ground?
Yeah, it's an acceptance that it is present. It is an oppressor. The challenge. I have a brother-in-law who's Iranian, so he's my source. He's a great source. He says the challenge with the Persians is that very modern society. Look, they invented math, right? Just talk to my brother-in-law; he would tell you they invented math. I call my brother-in-law Xerxes, and he loves that. Um, the so you've got this very modern society that over the course of 50 years, it's now become part of their DNA. I mean, they're very submissive. And as he describes it, he says, we're a very proud people, but we're not prepared to sacrifice. That, they've accepted so much. This is a bunch of body blows over the course of years. And it's very difficult for them to think that there might be some type of possible alternative out there. There could be, as I described, there could be a possibility here, but the IRGC is immensely weakened, but it still exists. It's a control mechanism internally. They're not going to export this. That becomes the major problem. So are the Iranian people, 93 million folks, are they prepared to make some type of an aggressive, and the reason we did this now is we thought they were in a position to make kind of an aggressive, sustained move. I mean, we had an opportunity. We took it. We decapitated the regime. We did it because we had incredible weapon systems. As Chris indicated, maritime air campaign, unprecedented. It's absolutely phenomenal. But we saw the unrest over the course of the last 6 weeks, 2 months, and we thought maybe something's here. And we now have an opportunity. Let's see if we can accelerate this unrest. Hasn't happened yet. Maybe after the guns don't go silent, but become a little more sustainable over time, there could be an uprising. I don't see that happening in the near term.
Well, I'd like to go back to another conflict I know you're familiar with, which is the Balkans, right? Because as we look at Iran, I would not describe it as an ethnically homogenous like country once you move outside of, call it, the center of power. And so as I look at the country and I ask, where would the fissures appear? Where would the cracks appear? I think, as Chris brought up, not just the Kurds, but the Azerbaijanis might have something to say about this as well, because now that they've been weakened and the balance of power in the region is potentially shifting, this is when other people see opportunity and sometimes make their moves.
Right.
Do you see a potential end game that looks a little bit more like the dissolution of Yugoslavia, where Iran may no longer be the exact same geographic footprint and we have some breakaways?
No.
Okay.
Short answer. The longer discussion on all of that is I don't see, Chris mentioned the Kurds. I don't see the Kurds having a significant role. Number one, I don't know that the CIA is in fact going to follow through with this operation, and how we found out about it pisses me off as a guy who grew up in the intel world. Routine leaks like that are it is something that needs to be addressed. Okay, that's a long-term issue. So we've understood, or at least we think there might be some type of an arming of the Kurds as they migrate across. That's what I would describe in military terms as an economy of force. It is not going to significantly alter the dynamics in Tehran. And as this new regime kind of tries to coalesce and come together, and as you've described, it is not homogeneous in Iran, nor within the leadership. There are a whole bunch of fissures within there. So the Kurdish operation, if it occurs, is simply a distraction that must be addressed. So it pulls attention, it pulls forces, it pulls resources away. The challenge legitimately in Iran is could it dissolve into what you described so accurately in the Balkans? I really don't think so. I think that level of the differences among them have either been reconciled or have been tolerated over the course of years. In the Balkans, this was millennia-old hatred that emerged and simply erupted because it could, and there were no boundaries that have been put around it. What we see in the Mideast certainly is you have a new hegemon. It's without doubt, it's Israel. So you've got a new hegemon.
Interesting.
That's not going. That hegemon is going to routinely be involved in what Iran 2.0 or whatever the heck it is looks like.
Is
Speaking
Saudi
of-
not a rising hegemon? Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, ask a question.
Is Saudi not a rising hegemon?
Yes, regionally, yes, but Israel is what I would call the regional hegemon.